was born a donkey.
It's the donkey of the day.
For the donkey of the day.
That's pretty funny.
Charlamagne the devil?
Possibly. The Breakfast Club.
Donkey of the day for Monday, May 11th goes to a Georgia prosecutor, District Attorney George Barnhill. Now, George Barnhill was the prosecutor on the case of the young brother Ahmaud Arbery. Rest in peace to Ahmaud. Condolences to his family. George Barnhill actually recused himself from the investigation on April 6th because his son is a prosecutor in the Brunswick District Attorney's Office, where one of those thugs, one of those murderers of Ahmaud, one of those goons, Gregory McMichael, a former cop, worked as an investigator. But he didn't fall back from the case until after he received the autopsy report on Ahmaud's death and wrote a letter to police explaining why George McMichael and his demon seed son, Travis McMichael, should not be charged. That's right, you heard me. He said they should not be charged and that Ahmaud Arbery's case was a justifiable homicide. Let's go to WAGA! WAGA Fox 5 for the report, please.
A former federal prosecutor says the GBI and the U.S. Department of Justice should both look into the death of jogger Ahmaud Arbery. George Barnhill is the elected district attorney for the Waycross Circuit. Barnhill recused himself from the case that is sweeping the nation. Jogger Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, insisted he had a conflict of interest. Barnhill's son works in the Brunswick DA's office that Greg McMichael worked in as an investigator and later retired from. Barnhill's letter to Glenn County Police is getting national attention because it justifies the deadly shooting of the black jogger by two white men. The longtime prosecutor wrote, "We do not see grounds for an arrest of any of the three parties." It goes on to say Travis McMichael, his father Greg McMichael, and the man who he says shot the video, Brian Williams, were following in, quote, hot pursuit a burglary suspect with solid first-hand probable cause. DA Barnhill writes that the video in real time shows Arbery attacks Travis McMichael, but the former federal prosecutor believes civil rights violations likely occurred.
First of all, the fact that you recused yourself from this case because you have a son who works in the DA's office, where that murderer, Gregory McMichael, used to work, lets us know you are already biased. So being that you're biased, nobody wants to hear your little letter to the police explaining why those devils should not be charged. Okay, we know why you think they shouldn't be charged because, one, you're protecting one of your own, and two, anytime a white man, a domestic terrorist, a member of Vanilla ISIS kills a black man in America, it's justifiable in your eyes. Furthermore, if you're going to recuse yourself from the situation, then recuse yourself from the situation altogether. Okay, the definition of recuse is excuse oneself from a case because of a potential conflict of interest or lack of impartiality. Therefore, his letter with his 5 points regarding the case should be disregarded. Okay, if you know you have a conflict of interest and everyone else knows you have a conflict of interest, then take that bias-ass letter you wrote to police and wipe your ass with it. Okay, how can I, as a black person in America, ever have faith in a justice system like this? See, this is why I say every black person in America needs to go out and purchase a legal firearm, go to the range, learn how to use it, learn the laws of your state to see where you can carry it, because you have to protect yourself because there is no laws in place to protect us. Okay, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, is your constitutional right, black man. It's your constitutional right, black woman. Okay, it is your constitutional right to possess a legal firearm, and you can use that firearm for traditionally lawful purposes such as self-defense within the home and outside the home, depending on your state. Ida B. Wells once said a Winchester rifle should have a place of honor in every black home, and it should be used for that protection which the law refuses to give. I repeat, and it should be used for that protection which the law refuses to give. Okay, replace Winchester rifle with any gun of your choice and let that quote sink into your heart. Okay, and I hear y'all black people, I hear y'all saying, our constitutional rights aren't respected. Our constitutional rights aren't respected. If Ahmaud had a gun and shot back, he would be in jail right now, or they would be justifying his murder because he had a gun. Let me tell you, pessimistic punks, something. Y'all better stop worrying about what your oppressor thinks of you. Okay, that's number one. All right. Number two, go buy a legal firearm because it is your constitutional right and you must protect yourself from these kinds of threats. Okay? And number 3, I would rather Ahmaud or any brother or sister who finds themselves in a situation like Ahmaud found himself in, I would much rather them be in jail fighting for their freedom because they shot back at some domestic terrorists trying to take their life than have their family crying over their casket at a funeral. Okay? You can't fight these cases when you're dead. All right? I would much rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And not only is me owning a legal firearm my constitutional right, when you're a black person in America, owning a legal firearm is a form of self-care because we need to care for self at times like this because this wicked American judicial system clearly doesn't care about us. Please give George Barnhill the biggest hee-haw. Oh, I'm tripping. Matter of fact, let Kathy Griffin give George Barnhill the biggest hee-haw.
Please give this giant jar of mail the biggest hee-haw.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey of the day.
Yes,
Yes.
this is
Did
exactly...
Did y'all run with Maud over the weekend too? I did that this weekend.
No, I did not. I really don't understand the point of that, to be honest with you.
It was just showing support for his family. You know, he was running and he's a runner. So a lot of people went out just to do that run, just to honor him.
Well, I'm gonna do a run for Ahmaud, and I want all black people and black people to run to the gun store and purchase a legal firearm. Okay, that's what I would like to do. Let's and if you're gonna do these jogs, let's all run to the gun store and purchase legal firearms and get our gun permits and learn how to use guns so we can protect ourselves from attacks like the one Ahmaud had to experience. Sadly.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey of the day. Now, when we come back, 800-585-1051, what are we discussing this morning?
Let's talk about death, man.
What do you mean?
It seems like death was everywhere this weekend. You know, from Andre Harrell to Little Richard to Betty Wright to Jerry Stiller to Amanda Blaze. It just seems like
Amanda Blaze. Yeah,
death was everywhere. So I just wonder, what are people's thoughts about death? And not even just this past weekend. With the passing of Kobe Bryant, with the passing of, Nipsey Hussle, when you see these situations like Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, like, what are your thoughts about death? I just want to know what your relationship is like with death. Like, what do you think about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have been questioning my own mortality in a way that I never have before. So I have a lot of thoughts about death. I just wonder what do y'all think?
All right, let's talk about it when we come back. 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.